Everybody's here for the defensive line talk. Gentlemen, let's run through top to bottom what we have here. So defensive tackle, Caleb Banks, 6'6", 329 pounds. I'm going to run through this whole list, then we're going to break it down. Defensive end and tackle. George Gums, redshirt senior, number 34, 6'4", 253 pounds. Jamari Lyons coming back from injury, redshirt junior, defensive lineman, number 95, 6'3", 308 pounds. Former five-star LJ McCray, number 11, 6'4", 267 pounds. Micah Boireau, a sophomore, 6'2", 274 pounds. And then Jeremiah McLeod, 6'2", 360 pounds. That's what we got, boys. I'm missing a few. So give me 1 second. But give me your thoughts on this defensive line.
Defensive line. I'll go, Nick. Let me just start off.
Actually, hold on, Nick. Before you go, I don't want to forget anybody. Obviously, the freshman Jaden Wood, 6'3", 200. He's now up to 250 pounds. Kofi Asari, the transfer from UMass, 6'4" and 3/4, 246 pounds. Cam James, 6'5.5", 272 pounds. Jalen Wiggins, the freshman, 6'4.5", 270 pounds. Tyreak Sapp, 6'2.5", 274 pounds. Brian Taylor, 6'4.5", 278 pounds. And Tarvorise Brown, 6'6" and 3/4, 290 pounds. Sorry, I don't know why my list pulled wrong, but obviously a deep room, top to bottom, some new names in there. But obviously, give me guys your thoughts overall on the defensive line, then we'll do by position.
Yeah, it's outside, like defensive end, edge, outside linebacker, whatever you want to call that, edge. Super deep. It's inside where it kind of gets dicey. And then I look at like Fleazy, DeAndre Robinson, like why did he leave? He would have been a huge contributor. Like an injury inside at defensive tackle, nose tackle, and you're just skating on thin ice there. But I love Florida's defensive line. If the interior stays healthy, I think really, really good. Betts from Baylor, you're going to have to count on him. You're going to have to count on Jamari Lyons. It's Michai Boireau. He's made a ton of strides.
That's the gangster right there. That's going
a ton of strides this offseason. You're going to have to count on him, but like you get young really, really quick. And you just don't have depth at DT nose tackle. Like inside, you have no depth. Do you have to ask like a Tyreak Sapp to slide in and play?
But I think our depth's fine.
Got guys at defensive tackle, nose tackle.
Yeah, I think your depth's fine. I think you just. Sorry, Corey. Go ahead.
No, you go. No, go ahead, bro. Go.
No, I was just gonna say. I think your depth is okay. If there is an injury or something happens, then I think you're in a really bad position.
So that's not good.
No, I think what you have now is fine. If you have to go deeper than that, right? I mean, I don't know in this day and age how many people you could theoretically have to be truly have a ton of depth at any position these days.
I think a lot of times people discredit lack of previous snaps, like as not having depth. It's unknown. So you're saying like we don't have, because one time we didn't think Caleb Banks was good depth, but he was. Mm-hmm. We just didn't know how good he was going to be. I think that's the same thing with Michael Boireau. It's a lot of guys on that defensive line. I don't know how to really train. I couldn't really tell you how they're swapping the nose tackle and defensive tackle. But between those two rooms and those two positions, I think there's a lot of talent. It's just the unknown. Like Lyons, we don't know how he's going to bounce back from injury, right? Boone didn't really bounce back, when he came back, right? So we don't know how Lyons is going to bounce back. Michael Boireau, he hasn't played a lot, but we beat Georgia and LSU and some big dogs for him, right? So we went and got this kid. It's okay to play the young kids that don't have a lot of snaps. They just got to prove that the quality that. But I think from recruiting purpose, when I look at that room, no, we beat some guys out for the guys in that room, and they should be ready to play. Your sophomore year in the SEC at defensive tackle, you should be ready to jump in the trenches and get busy, baby.
Mhm.
I think Michael Boireau got to be ready to get busy. I think he will be. I think he's gonna surprise some people this fall. So I feel
Yeah,
better
and
about the depth. Even my bad. One like my guy Tarvorise Brown. There's a lot of unknown about him, but that kid's huge. Like you look at him in person, he's bigger than Gravon Dexter. You know, like got abs, right? We got to see. He came in as a JUCO kid late last year.
Mhm.
He didn't get a full fall camp, but in a Division I University of Florida strength and conditioning program, a full year, a spring, and another fall camp, I think he's gonna be a guy that can contribute as well. Like the size is there, bro.
Yeah, when you get
Evaluate.
Jamari Lyons back.
Yeah, so I think it's some depth there. I think we're gonna surprise some people at D tackle and nose tackle.
So let's just talk. We've got Tarvorise Brown, Jamari Lyons, Micah Boireau, Caleb Banks is your 4, with Brian Taylor potentially being in that list as well. Obviously, Jeremiah McLeod's a freshman.
Yeah, Brian Taylor he's close to, I think he's over 300 pounds now.
He's 6'4" and a half, 278 on UF step chart. So if he is, he's incredible growth.
Yeah, when I talked to him, we were at the charity event. I think he said he was like 290. He's put it on slowly. He is huge. But he's going to be a guy, I think, potentially starting or getting starter level reps next to Caleb Banks. But he's one, I think it's his last year. Is this last year of eligibility?
Yeah.
He was a JUCO bandit.
Yeah, he's from what's it called? Blinn.
Yeah. Newton.
And I completely forgot Brandon Bett too, the transfer from Baylor.
I mentioned him.
Yeah.
I mentioned him. But yeah, like I think I haven't seen Betts up close. I don't know how big he is. Bet. I keep saying Betts.
So does Brandon Connell. It's a shame when Brandon Connell has a fact error in the chat. Doesn't happen often.
It's a shame. Yeah, I just think I just that's a position. So like to me, I think that's a position where I worry about. It's a position where you can easily get injured, like nicks, scrapes, bruises. And to me, that's a concern. Like I'm not like 5-alarm fire ringing when I look at the defense, which I really like the defense. That's the position that I look at and I think, okay, I don't know that there's a lot of depth there.
Here's my thing. Like from how I see it, and I think like these be red flags for me, right? Like I don't think Florida couldn't afford for DeAndre Robinson to, like I think they could afford for him to stay, like money wise. But I think they looked at the rest of the room and said, "No, we good. Like let him leave." I think they know more than we know, and like Chapman's development is through the roof. I get what you're saying, but I think like some of the subtractions weren't really like players they was going to break the bank for, because they thought the guys that we haven't really seen play a lot, that they were just as good as him. That's what I think.
Let's call spade a spade here. I mean, we like DeAndre Robinson for who he was as a recruit. He played a little bit. We really liked him too because he was on our show, and then he came,
great personality.
We met great personality, got the gold girl. You're like, this kid's gonna be great. Right. You know what I mean? You just look at a player, you're like, this is it. But he never really he didn't do a ton, right? I mean, Desmond Watson played, and obviously he stuffed a huge gap, and you saw a huge improvement with Sapp, in his final year. But it's not like Florida defensive tackles were doing unbelievable things that I don't think one of these guys can't step up into. I mean, Caleb Banks, your best guy, is back next year, right? And I do think there's going to be development with Boireau and getting, Bet, who I think can be a good player. And then you look at growth with, Jamari Lyons coming back. Jamari Lyons was going to be a starter last year, and he's now coming back. And then Brown, he's a guy that everybody's super high on. So now all of a sudden you're at 4 people. Then you throw on Brian Taylor, who, Nick, you've said, is maybe over 300 pounds now. You've got 5 potential guys there that, I'm more bullish on the defensive line than I thought I was, or at least at that position, that nose tackle and defensive tackle position. than it was before we started this. And I didn't even mention Micah Boireau in there, right?
Yeah,
So
like, he
you've
some
got
guys.
Oh,
people.
that name has got you in a headlock.
Boireau,
Boireau.
Sorry,
Michai Boireau.
Hey, I was saying, I was with you.
Boireau.
I was with you, Dan. We both just got learned something.
Michai.
Losing Shivers after Robinson is what hurt.
Correct.
I mean, losing. What were we going to expect out of Shivers though this year?
This year, not much.
Yeah,
I mean, it sucks, right? You don't want to lose a freshman, but like, what were you theoretically going to lose?
Yeah, I think let's see the games get played, but Jared Chapman, like I said, people weren't high on Caleb Banks like that, until he started turning into a gangster like Jared Chapman pulled something out of him. Pause. So let's let it play out. We'll see what happens. And they went and got Brandon Betts so quick right out there. Like I just don't like I don't know. I think the room is fine.
I think that was going to happen regardless.
We'll see.
So
yeah,
I'm betting on Chapman. Chapman, my guy. Like I think Chapman, him. I think he one of the best defensive line coaches in the country, bro. You feel me? And if he think they good, I don't think we slacking and lacking in that room, bro. We just don't know. There's not a lot of snaps from those guys, and there was a lot of development that need to happen. But the way they found Tarvorise Brown, however you say his name, Tarvorise Brown. How they found him late as a JUCO, like how they found Caleb Banks, how they finding these guys, like they got something going at that spot. Like I said, from a size, when you look at it on paper, how big these guys are. When you look at the pictures, like physically, like they fit in a certain mold, So I think we find a D tackle until we not. Jared Chapman, I got the house on him.
So who do we have? Michai Boireau and let's see, Caleb Banks and Michai starting.
No, it's
Lyons?
Banks Taylor, Lyons.
Yeah, I was just asking, just throwing around options here. I'm not trying to be criticized. Jeez.
No. I'm just saying it's like Banks, Taylor.
No, it's fine.
Very defensive.
So and then those two start, and then what do we think after that? Michai and Bet after
Lyons and Michai. I think it's Banks and Taylor and Lyons are kind of. Banks is your starter, but Banks can play inside nose. Yeah. So I think you might have Banks at nose, Taylor at nose, and then when you bring Lyons in, Lyons is at nose, and then Banks slides back out. I think Banks and Lyons will play like starter reps no matter who is starting there. Mm-hmm. They'll get similar snaps. But that's also a position too. Like I always go back to what Chris Rumpf said, like those defensive linemen, they have a gas tank and there's no refilling it. So you're having to try to rotate guys and keep them fresh. Like Caleb Banks, you're not going to ask him to play 68 snaps. You should not have to ask him to play 68 snaps. So like there has to be some position versatility there when you don't have, a guy who is like Stephon Shivers, clearly a nose tackle. That's a guy you slide right into nose tackle at that weight. That's
he wasn't going to play this year, I don't think.
No, it's just depth. Like he's a guy that could give you 10 snaps a game.
I don't even know if he was in playing shape to give you 10 snaps a game.
Yeah. But like it's a guy who that's kind of where I'm getting at with the depth. Like you don't have, or maybe you do. Maybe I'll learn in the like going to camp. But like you need a guy
Caleb
like
Banks was a bum at one time, bro. Like relax.
No, I didn't think he was a bum. I thought he was a project. I thought he was a project. It was going to take 2 to 3 years to get. It took It took 1 year.
Oh gosh, bro. You guys are the greatest of all time.
I'm worried about the depth. You guys aren't. That's fine.
No. I mean, I looking at it now, I see where you're coming from. I see it.
Yeah, I see your, because that's everybody. Like most of the fans, if they have a gripe, it's like, okay, we may get thin at defense attack because we don't know what we got. I think most of it's that. because it's players at the spots, right? But when you go look at the spots on the depth chart, it's not like nobody's there. Somebody's there. And what you get out, it's either a recruit, that was highly regarded, that hasn't put any production on the field, or it's a transfer that they brought in that they're trying to develop with multiple years, right? So that's what we got, behind the starters a little bit. So what I've learned from this staff is that they can find guys in the trenches, that's off the radar and turn them into pull the potential out of them. So we'll see how they develop. Like Michael Boireau is a guy that we beat Georgia for. I think the kid could do like flips. So we'll see.
Michai Boireau.
Hey man, however I say it, bro. Tomato.
His name is Michael Burani.
Yeah. You know what I meant. No disrespect, kid.
You've done disrespect with names today. With Unc Turner.
Unc Turner. Hey, that boy, shout out to Unc Turner, man. I got a lot of love for him. He just need to be, the motivated speaker of the safety room.
He wanted to be Inky Johnson.
Yeah, I gave him a shot, man. Once, like I said, Restrepo putting you in the blender is tough, bro.
Let's get a quick ad read to our friends over at Game Time Sidekicks. We were able to give away, I think, 5 of their cups yesterday. GameTimeSidekicks.com. You can get a cool cup like this. Nick has a few. He's no longer hoarding them, so we appreciate that. And I know the fans that were there yesterday, Nick, appreciate their cups. So they're going to keep your hot drinks hot, your cold drinks cold. Great product. Again, GameTimeSidekicks.com. Really great guy that runs the organization or runs the company. He's based in Knoxville, so he's in enemy territory. So go support him. It's a great drink to tailgate with. It's a great drink to put your coffee in on your way to work, whatever it is. It's a fantastic product, very high quality, and what I think are great prices. And obviously, you can get 15% off by using Stadium 15 at checkout. So go check them out. That's GameTimeSidekicks.com. Promo code Stadium 15. All right, let's get into the edge position. And again, let's run through that list. We've got LJ McCray, Jaden Woods, Kofi Asare, the transfer from UMass, Cam James, George Gums, Jalen Wiggins, and then Tyreak Sapp. You've got a couple other freshmen a couple other walk-ons. I'll shout them out. Titus Bullard, whose father played for UF and goes by the stage name of Titus O'Neil from the WWE or WCW, I don't know, whatever he was. Charles Emmanuel, he's a redshirt freshman, and then Lane Swafford, a redshirt sophomore, who, if I remember correctly, he played a down or two. Nope. Yep. Played 2 he did. I remember he played against Tulane. He also played against Samford, but that's what we've got. Obviously in that group, there's a lot of excitement. Silk. I know. I don't know why I called you Silk. That's the first time I've called you that in a long time. I know a lot of people are super, super excited about George Gums. And then I think that's your favorite player. And then Nick's favorite player is Tyreak Sapp, hailing obviously from St. Thomas Aquinas. So you got those two. Let's talk about those two, and then let's break it down because you've got some depth here, I think.
Yeah.
And this might be your best position right here.
Yeah, this room might be an embarrassment of riches in this room. Like George Gums, I think George and Tyreek, like you've got 2 older guys. First off, George Gums, what a wild career. He played receiver and ran track. Mostly ran track. He was like a track dude in high school who played receiver because he needed something to do in the fall. I think he went to Cincinnati and they moved to tight end.
No, he went to Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois.
Yeah. He went to Northern Illinois, played special teams as a redshirt. I think he was a tight end. And then the next year, his redshirt freshman year, he was a tight end, had 4 catches for 44 yards, had his first catch against Eastern Illinois for 13 yards, and then a career high 3 receptions against Toledo. And then he played 12 games and then started the last 7 at defensive end, 32 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks. So, I mean, what What a come up for the boy.
Yeah,
He's poster child for what we were just talking about. Like nobody knew who George Gums was, bro. They got somebody on the eval side of the program
recruitment.
got a gangster radar because they just find it straight up gangsters, bro. Like George Gums, think about we didn't expect much out of him last year. By the end of the year, he's a dude, a real dude. Like he's gonna go make some money this fall. That's my favorite player on that defense. Planting that flag was just next level. And then in the bowl game, you got to see even that get off. He's starting to figure it out. You can see in that bowl game versus Tulane, him starting to figure it out as a pass rusher. And that's just encouraging. Excuse my language.
And that's
a family show.
That's family show. This is a parody show.
Yeah,
family parody show.
Depends on the week.
That's the thing that is the most encouraging is I brought like that whole like career path up because like he's still learning how to be a pass rusher. He's still learning, and you've got a Gator great in Mike P teaching him. You've got a guy like Tyreak Sapp who was a stand-up linebacker in high school and then Tyreak Sapp has a damn nose tackle rep in his career at 260.
He got more than one.
That's crazy. But like I think we're just seeing George. Yeah. I think we asked
Tyreak Sapp to do some wild things his career, man. You know, he gets at his natural spot. Like we don't have to move him inside. I don't think this fall, bro. Maybe in like a NASCAR type pass rush package.
Yeah.
You get your
like
best pass rush.
Third and 27. Like, hey man, go
something like that.
Get inside. But I brought that up because I think we're seeing George Gums like just scratching the surface. Like he's still learning.
That's
like
crazy.
He's just super. He's super athletic.
Twitched up
and just like running like I mentioned about Cormani earlier. Like, hey, you're just getting by because you're more athletic than everyone around you, and you have more like God-given ability. But now you're putting the work behind it, and he's someone who constantly is like staying after, working on like hand placement and different pass rush moves. It's cool to see an older guy like that who still has like that hunger and still wants to learn. So it's been cool to see that as I've been at practice more. And him and Tyreak Sapp, if you ask the offensive line, those are the guys who get under their skin. My goodness, they celebrate. I'm looking forward to it. Wednesday, I'll be at practice. Looking forward to Wednesday's practice. They fought first practice of spring. We'll see what happens fall camp. It's a lot hotter. But yeah, that room's incredibly deep. And I think you get Tyreak Sapp at end, you get Gums playing off the edge, and then you've just got dudes behind them. Jalen Wiggins is there, Jaden Woods is there, LJ McCray is there. I'm gonna forget some names. Let me pull the roster up. That edge room, that defensive end and edge room is just super deep. I think you're going to see Kofi a little bit as well. Cam James, the guy that is probably the next one up there. Like Cam.
Yeah,
James
I think Cam James is a very good player, and I know that he's going to be behind Tyreak Sapp and George Gums. And I think that this has got to be a breakout year for LJ McCray too. I think we saw some flashes of it last year. I think I said his height wrong earlier. He's 6'6", 267. I think my list just pulled incorrect at 6'4". But I think that between LJ McCray, Cam James, I don't know what to expect out of Kofi Asari. He's a name that popped up.
Things. I'm hearing great things.
Yeah.
What are you hearing, Nick? I hear good things about that boy Kofi.
Yeah, it's just a deep room. Like I think they like him, but like it's hard to take, Tyreak Sapp, George Gums, LJ McCray, and Cam James. Cam James is like physically one of those guys like just sneaky. Like he's just like super long, but like
he's a black lunch pail guy.
Maybe. I don't even know what that means.
You know what it means, Nick. He's not sneaky athletic. He's just athletic.
No.
He's not deceptively fast. He's just
no.
He's a gym rat.
Yeah, just fast. Yeah, not sneaky.
He's just fast. Yeah.
No, but like I mean, like he's so long that you forget that like he's massive, like big. Like you look at Tyreak Sapp. Tyreak Sapp looks like a bodybuilder. Like I think some of these guys are just like longer. Like George Gums is like long and lean. Cam James, seeing him work out, you're like, oh, he's gigantic. I don't think people know how big Cam James is.
Kofi Asari is just under 6'5". Cam James is 6'5.5". George Gums is 6'4". Jalen Wiggins, the freshman, who we haven't talked about, he's 6'4.5". Those are big dudes. And then obviously LJ McCray is 6'6". I mean, those are big dudes. I mean, that's what Carlos Dunlap was like 6'6", right? Or 6'7".
Yeah. And that's what I mean when I mentioned like Jalen Wiggins, like when I say like, oh, he looks like a grown man, it's not like he has a gray beard. Like he looks like he is physically developed like an NFL player. Like he's not like, oh, freshmen come in, you like got to put some weight on, kind of stuff like that. You're like, you look at Jalen Wiggins, you're like, oh, you look like a senior in college.
And we haven't even talked about who my favorite freshman is, and that's Jaden Woods.
Room's full of gangsters, bro. Like
I mean, we haven't even gotten there, right? And Jalen Wiggins, you mentioned, in there's something that they saw out of Kofi Asari, but I think when you look at that group, right, like you don't have to. Like I was being a little imaginative when we were talking about the defensive tackle group about what I think could be. Like you legitimately could have 7 guys contribute at the defensive end position this year, and it could be more.
Yeah.
And that's a good problem to have. Now, will you have that problem next year? I mean, you're going to be losing a lot next year, with Gums and Sapp going to the NFL. So I hope these guys get the chance to perform. But what I see out of Sapp and what his versatility can be, and out of Gums, and then you're like, oh, one of them's got to sit down, and you're like, all right, cool. Let's pick a hodgepodge of players. All right, we'll throw Cam James in there. Cam James needs a break.
Ferrari you want?
To me,
McCray in there. Oh, okay. Yeah. He's injured. Let's just throw this unbelievably sick, 6'4", 250-pound freshman Jaden Woods, who was making noise all spring as a freshman.
He showed up to the media day looking like a monster, bro. That kid huge, bro. Like a freshman, they make him different. To me, we look like Bama, like for real.
Yes, to me, this room is Bama, like. Bro. To me, this room is like Georgia, Alabama, where it's just like, hey, it doesn't matter, just run somebody in. Like Dan hockey line shift, just be like, hey, line 2, get in, you're fine. Like there's not a big drop off when you're keeping guys fresh in this. It's not like, shoot, like hurry up, Tyreek, like finish that Gatorade. We gotta get somebody back in. You gotta get back in. We gotta get this guy off. No, it's like this would be like when y'all would get mad, or me too, get mad about like the communist running back thing. It's like, hey, he's getting the first drive, and you'll see him in 3 more drives because every running back gets a drive. Like you're not going to be mad if that's like a rotation. Not saying it is, but you're not going to be mad.
Don't challenge Florida fans. Say we won't be mad.
Someone will be.
You have Tyreak Sapp with an 80% motor in the fourth quarter. Like, good luck.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if Tyreak Sapp plays the first drive, and then you see like a rotation where it's like, hey, the next group is up, and then the third group is up, and then Tyreek's back on, but there's been a gap in between that, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's fine, because like there's really not a drop off. Like this room's nasty.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Filth, straight filth. I had a take. I forgot it because Nick was just in his bag. So kudos to that.
If never been negative, always been positive, but
factually,
like
sure.
This room is like this room gets me excited. This room gets me excited. Like this room's filthy. Like big time for me. Big time. Like Georgia. I remember watching.
No more Jamaican bacon, man. Remember we had Jamaican bacon?
I do.
Oh,
remember when we had defensive linemen playing 67 snaps a game?
Them boys was on my diet, man. That mother was it?
Yeah, Gervon
Dexter was
at 300-something pounds.
Yeah, the most
that was against Utah. That was against Utah. Billy's first game. Like Gervon had to play, I think 60-something snaps, and someone like posted a clip of like him jogging when the play went away from him. Someone, a Gator fan, posted a clip being like,
he's loafing.
This is atrocious effort. I'm like, that was his 67th play, dog. What do you mean?
Look at this guy. He has no pride.
he took a breath at 315 pounds when they ran counter away from him.
That was the greatest.
What are you doing?
I loved it.
Just like you're telling on yourself sometimes when you think you're onto something, you're just telling on yourself. Like, yeah, you don't know ball. Dan knows ball.
I know ball. The streets have been saying Dan knows ball.
Dan knows
the streets
ball.
have been yelling. Dan
the
knows
streets
ball.
have been yelling. Moncrief has been yelling. Dan knows ball.
Not co-signing on anything you say about Moncrief.
Had a couple Jacksonville people yesterday. Met them.
I'll be up there on November 1st. Will not say a bad thing.
Let them know that Dan Thompson sends his highest regards.
Duval.
Not beating the allegations. The county's not beating the allegations. All right, guys. We're going to wrap up here. Any final thoughts on the defensive line?
Man. Just physically, we just look like one of them programs now. It's like time to just go win some football games. But physically, the more I get around these players, watching the workout videos, like we look like one of them programs.
Well, one of the
people were slinging mud on Tyler Miles' name last year, and every injury was like soft tissue. Yes,
sir.
Every injury was like soft tissue injury.
We was getting our shit pushed in too. We was, excuse my language. This is a family show. Sorry for the families if you got this on
parody
YouTube
family show.
Yeah,
for sure. But we were getting pushed around a little bit, so I was just like, "Hey, like, what are we doing? We eating Jamaican bacon, or what's going on?" And,
you know what I love about this defensive line is how disruptive they're being against what we've argued is one of our best offensive units, and that's the offensive line, right? A offensive line that is ranked in the top 5 in the SEC, maybe top 5, top 10 in the country, and that's who they're competing against every single day. That's going to make you better, right? It's not like we're like, oh man, our offensive line is trash again. I mean, that's a good unit with some real depth there, and they're competing day in and day out against one of the best units in the SEC, and that's how you get better.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this. So I watched it firsthand in the spring. Shout out to my new access. Being able to watch Bryce Lovett, like they threw him into the deep end, grabbed his little arm floaties, threw him into the deep end. Like Bryce Lovett had to go through all spring. They said, "Hey, you're gonna be the starting right tackle. By the way, here's every single rep against Tyreak Sapp and against George Gums. And oh, by the way, here's your third straight rep. That's LJ McCray." Like Bryce Lovett had to go through the fire in the spring, and I watched him go from like having his back turned and looking at the rest of the offensive line, not good, to like starting to win and starting to hold his own, going from being put on skates to winning reps. And like Dan just said, like you're having to go against that defensive line, especially on the edges. Like Austin Barber is going to his 5th year, and he's losing battles. And as a redshirt freshman, is Bryce Lovett a redshirt freshman or redshirt sophomore?
It's redshirt sophomore, I think.
As a redshirt sophomore, first-time starter, having to go up against those guys, that gauntlet was good for him, and I saw him progress.
Yeah, I mean that's the opposite, right? Like our offensive line, I think, is going to be better because of who they have to go up against in practice. And there might be some depth issues and everything else, at the defensive tackle position as a whole. But that's what makes this team better, right? And it's been said by countless people, the game is won in the trenches. And if Florida can dominate those, even if they're lacking a little bit of depth, every team's going to lack depth somewhere. But if Florida can harness that on the offensive line and the defensive line, that just allows you so many more opportunities to win a football game than where we've previously had to talk about both of those units. So shout out to Billy, right? Shout out to the staff, Chapman, the rest of the guys for recruiting guys. And we've talked about it, right? They're like recruiting 4-star guys that look like 4-star guys, right? Like not the tweener guys. Like these are guys ready to come on campus and make an impact. And so there's a lot of excitement for obvious reasons on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
100. Spot the ball, man.
Spot the ball.